Today, we're talking about one battle. But this wasn't just any battle. This was the one that changed the course of a revolution and, really, helped shape a new nation. We're talking about the Battle of Saratoga. So, you gotta ask yourself, how does one battle actually change the world, right? I mean, a single fight way out in what was then a remote part of New York. It sounds like a bit of a stretch, but believe me, with Saratoga, it is the absolute truth. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how that happened. All right, so first things first. To really get why this was such a big deal, we need to understand what actually happened on the ground. What made this victory so, well, decisive? So let's get right to it. The year is 1777. After some really fierce fighting, the American forces pull off something kind of incredible. They force the surrender of an entire British army led by General John Burgoyne. Now, you gotta understand, this wasn't some small little skirmish or a tactical retreat. This was a massive, undeniable win that sent absolute shockwaves through the entire war. And that's why we use this phrase, turning point. It's that one moment where the whole story just pivots. And for the American Revolution, Saratoga is almost universally considered the turning point. But why? I mean, what made this win so much bigger than just winning on the battlefield? Well, what's amazing is we don't even have to guess how important it was. We can just look at what the founders themselves were saying right in the moment. Let's listen to them. I mean, it's incredible how fast they got it. Take John Adams, one of the main architects of the Revolution. He didn't miss a beat. He immediately wrote, "This victory is decisive." He knew right away this wasn't just a feel-good win. Nope. This was a total game changer. Okay, so at the same time, all the way across the Atlantic, you've got Benjamin Franklin. He's in Paris, playing this high-stakes diplomatic game, trying to get help, and when the news of Saratoga hits, his reaction is all strategy. He knew what it meant. France will join. He could see it clear as day, that direct line connecting a battlefield in New York to a treaty table in Paris.
And what about the man himself, General George Washington? The guy in the thick of it, dealing with this brutal, grinding war day in and day out. For him, this was like a shot of adrenaline for the whole cause. He put it simply, the cause advances. This victory for Washington meant they finally had a real, concrete path to actually winning.
And that path forward? Well, just like Franklin predicted, it led straight to one place. And this, right here, is the single biggest reason Saratoga matters so much: the French alliance. So why was this such a massive deal? Well, think about it. Before Saratoga, France was on the fence. Sure, they were sympathetic. They wanted to see their old rival, Great Britain, get a black eye. But jumping into a war? That's a huge risk. They needed proof. Proof that the Americans weren't just some scrappy rebels, but that they could actually win. Saratoga was that proof. And this just shows you the night and day difference. Before Saratoga, you've got a colonial rebellion taking on a global superpower. It's a real David and Goliath situation. But after Saratoga, suddenly France is in. With their navy, their money, their soldiers, it's not a rebellion anymore. It's a world war. The whole chessboard was just flipped upside down. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. Let's see how this one single victory completely transformed the entire war. All right, let's just run through that chain of events one more time because it's so important. Step 1, the Americans win big at Saratoga. Step 2, the leaders, Adams, Franklin, Washington, they see exactly what this means. Step 3, that realization and Franklin's brilliant work is what convinces France to jump in and form an official alliance. And step 4, that alliance changes everything. The revolution is transformed from a struggling rebellion into a global conflict the Americans could actually win. So, back to our big question, how does one battle change the world? Well, this is how. Saratoga was the turning point precisely because it was the key that unlocked the French alliance. It opened the door to the foreign support that would prove absolutely essential to winning the whole thing. And that leaves me with one last question for you. We've just seen how Saratoga shifted the course of one nation. But if you look at all of human history, what do you think was the greatest turning point? That single moment that changed everything that came after it? It's a big question, but definitely something worth thinking about.